Hi everybody and very welcome to this very impromptu and very short live broadcast that I'm doing with you. I hope you're all doing fantastic as always. I was just sent a message to one of my connections, from one of my connections on LinkedIn regarding a controversy that has sparked up in Australia regarding a tweet that a female doctor made on social media regarding her greeting at a Qantas flight. Now, if you don't know what this is all about, then in the description of this video you can find a link to the news coverage of this. It was a huge deal. Her tweet was shared thousands of times, and people are taking sides, as people always do in this age of social media. My connection asked me to please make a video about it, and at first I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't get involved in these kind of nitty-gritty, pie tossing contests online, okay? But then I thought, this is actually a perfect opportunity to address something that I think is really important, and that is the role of my dear friends and colleagues, my cabin crew colleagues, that are doing an absolutely astounding and fantastic work on a daily basis, and the kind of pressure they're under and the kind of challenges that they face, both from the public, from the demands of the work, and from everything that they do. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of background, this tweet was released by a female doctor. Her name is Siobhan O'Dwyer. Okay, and she was greeted on a Qantas flight when she boarded, not by her title, which is doctor, which is what was written on her boarding card, but by Miss instead. And she took incredible offense to this. She thought it was a sign of hidden sexism, that the cabin crew would assume that she was not a doctor, that it was a misprint, and that's what she wrote, and that's what she sent out. Okay, and then all people started taking sides. All right, so let's have a look at this. Now, the cabin crew's work, what they do, their job, especially during boarding, is to ensure the safety of the flight, just as it's their job during every part of the flight. That means that when you are being boarded on an aircraft, you are asked to produce your boarding card. And the reason that they do this is not to find out whether you're a doctor, or whether you're a miss, a missus, or a mister, or whatever it might be. It is to make sure that you are the correct person boarding the flight, so that you are not boarding the wrong flight, or that you're boarding a flight that you don't have the right to be on. Okay, that's the primary concern. They're checking that you have a boarding card for the correct flight and not for another flight, so that there might be baggage being put on board that shouldn't be there, or that should be there and shouldn't. This is their primary job. Secondarily, they're checking on you. They're checking the status of you. If you are looking like you're fit to fly, or if you're looking pale and ill, or if you are under influence of something. They have to make a snap decision of every customer that comes on board to make sure that it's going to be safe for that passenger to travel, that it's going to be safe for the rest of the passengers, that passenger travels, and so on. So this is what they do. And if you're on a Qantas flight, I don't know what kind of aircraft type that she was on, but let's say that that the cabin crew, divided into 4 people, have about 200 passengers to look through. All right, that means that it's very, very little time to kind of look at boarding cards and concentrate on giving the correct title. It's much easier to say a miss or a sir, which is what probably all of the male passengers behind Dr. O'Dwyer heard as well. Okay, so if you look at it from that perspective, this becomes a little bit. I wouldn't say that it was wrong of her to call this out, because believe me, there is sexism out there, and hidden sexism is a real problem. But I do want to emphasize that the cabin crew here are doing exactly what they're trained to do. Okay, they're trained to focus on the overall safety of the flight, and secondarily, they're trained to, of course, be hospitable and make sure that you feel welcome and all of that. But the safety of the flight is paramount here. And Dr. Dwyer probably didn't notice if there was something happening behind her as she was boarding, or if something had happened before, or if the passenger was more focused on trying to locate what seat that she was going on to. Things like that is what people don't really think about when they're boarding aircraft. Okay, and it's really important that we understand each other. Now, this is also a point that I want to make when it comes to social media. Like I said, in this tweet, she felt hurt. She felt that she was being subjected to sexism. That's her prerogative. That's her right to feel so. But the problem with social media is that whenever you put something like that out via Twitter or via Facebook, Instagram, wherever it might be, you are going to have to be ready for the kind of response that you get. Because in the world of social media, there's only black and white. There's nothing in between. What I'm saying here is that there is an in-between. Real life is all about in-betweens. Okay? I think that in this occasion there was no sexism involved, because I know the kind of pressure that the cabin crew is under. But in other circumstances, I'm sure that Dr. O'Dwyer has come across these kind of things in her line of duty. But I would like to ask this: if she actually works as a doctor, as in a hospital, and if she's in a situation, for example, in the emergency room when a passenger comes in, I'm fairly sure that her primary concern in that case is not to make sure that she gives the correct title to the passenger, or sorry, to the patient in that case. It's going to be to get that patient to the right of it. It might be the operating room, it might be somewhere else, all right? And this is exactly what the cabin crew is doing. So when it comes to social media, I would like all of us to take a step back. When you see a tweet that might offend you and might make you angry, don't go out and spend, and become a troll and throw out all of the negative feelings that you might have, because a tweet is a tweet. You can't possibly explain all of the different facets of reality within the whatever 256 characters, whatever it is that you can send out in a tweet. You can only give the black and the white version of reality. So this is the 2 points I want to make with this very short podcast, okay? Think about the cabin crew. When you're boarding an aircraft, remember that these are cabin crew that have been properly trained, some of them with loads of experience, years of experience. Other ones might be doing their first day on the job. They are trained to make sure that you are safe, that the crew is safe, that the aircraft is safe, and that everyone in the airport is safe. That's their main concern. They're also trained to get you out of the aircraft in 90 seconds in case of an emergency. They're trained to help you if you ever get into the water. They're trained to take care of abusive passengers that are mistreating other people and that is potentially endangering the safety of the flight. They're trained for many, many things, all right? And the hospitality part is just a secondary part, right? So instead of slamming them for minor things that you might get really, really angry about, but it's probably not that important if you look at it, then think about all of the other things that they have to do. Take a deep breath and appreciate the fact that they're there, that there are professionals there that can help you in case something goes wrong. That's number one. The number two, which is my pet hate at the moment, is all of the division that is happening in the world of social media right now. All right, you can see this in politics in all countries around the globe. You have this division, the divide between people, where you either think one thing or another thing. You can't come in between. There's no kind of understanding. There's no willing of understanding in social media anymore. This is something that has to change. We have to think a little bit outside of the box and try to get ourselves into the other person's perspective before you fire off a tweet that you will eventually, hopefully, regret. Okay, so just think of that before you send off that hateful comment, before you call someone an idiot, before you do something like that. Think, does this person possibly have a point depending on his or her point of view? And in that case, is there something that we can discuss in a way that is respectful for both parties or not? Okay, so that is the reason that I wanted to do this short live stream. All right, I'm not going to go further into than that. Anyway, I will be releasing a new video tonight, guys. There's a new, I am on vacation, as you can see. I'm here in my apartment in lovely Plachadaro in Spain, which means that I haven't had time to go in and do a full-fledged 15-minute video, but I have an almost 8-minute video for you coming up tonight, and it's quite interesting. It's about why we stabilize the engines, all right? So you might think why that is. You might think why we do that, but there might be more to it than you think. So even if you think you know the answer, check out tonight's video. I think you're gonna like it. And Alex Express, I wasn't going to do this as a question and answer session. My name is of course not Mentor. My name is Peter. All right, actually Petter. It's 2 T's just to make it a little bit more interesting. Cool. So Flight Sim Dev from Adelaide. Well, you will be probably quite familiar with the story that I've just been covering. Check out the link here in the video to see why I thought it was important to make this short broadcast. Have an absolutely fantastic day wherever you are, guys, and look at tonight's video. As always, send me your comment, and if you haven't already, check out mentorpilot.com. Let's see, it's here. I'm starting to bring together stuff in there, like a little bit more serious stuff that I've been writing about, stuff that I probably can't really get into the channel because it's a bit too much technical and things like that. But if you like those kind of things, then go into mentorpilot.com. Otherwise, I will now be available inside of the Mentor Aviation app, to which there is links down here. See you. Have an absolutely fantastic weekend whenever you are, and well, I'll see you tonight. Bye-bye.